Is the Chinese economy really much weaker? Let's talk about it all. Hello everyone and welcome to my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for subscribing. Leave your comments below and, of course, leave a like if you like the video. The Chinese economy is growing and is growing faster than most developed economies, than most emerging economies, and it's certainly showing levels of strength that are significantly more relevant than what the media or consensus are showing. Let's understand why. Number one, the Chinese economy is growing faster than what any developed economy would grow in an environment in which the real estate contraction is very significant. There is no single emerging or developed economy that has shown the levels of growth of the Chinese economy that we are seeing in the recent months, in the middle of a correction of a real estate situation that was coming from very elevated levels and unnecessarily high valuations and unnecessarily high debt. So, in an environment of contraction in real estate, in a country that had up to 20% of its GDP in construction and real estate, and at the same time seeing the economy grow faster than most developed and most emerging market economies, that in itself shows that the Chinese economy is stronger than one would think. If we strip out the global slowdown factors and the real estate impact, the Chinese economy is actually doing better than consensus would have estimated. Consensus estimates are also a problem, and I'll tell you why. Most of consensus estimates for 2023 and 2024 assumed a massive multiplier effect in the Chinese economy coming from a stimulus plan. This makes no sense. A Chinese government that is trying, on the one hand, to control the real estate contraction, to reduce the massive debt imbalances of the economy, is not going to implement a monster stimulus package to strengthen precisely the sectors that it wants to curb in the economy. Furthermore, a massive stimulus plan would have generated no real multiplier effect precisely because of the elevated imbalances in the economy coming from previous stimulus packages. There's a third element. Why implement a stimulus plan on an economy that is growing at 4 or 5% per annum? You think about all of this ultimately is this sort of strange desire coming from consensus to bloat the economies at any expense. Consensus analysts seem to love massive government plans, huge debt increases, and monster spending packages, as if those were the drivers of economic growth. Ultimately, if we think about it, what is happening in China is, yes, figures are below consensus, but consensus was bloated by completely irrational expectations of stimulus packages and multiplier effects. Second, the Chinese economy continues to grow faster than most developed and emerging economies, despite the contraction of a real estate sector that was certainly creating important imbalances that needed to be corrected. Think about this. Can you think of any developed economy that has seen a contraction of the real estate sector as significant as the one that China is witnessing right now, but at the same time growing, generating employment and improving its human capital and improving the sustainability of its economy, because that is another factor. Many people in consensus love stimulus packages when they are completely unsustainable. These monster government spending plans to build stuff no matter what make absolutely no sense in normal times, but they make even less sense right now in an economy that is trying to put more strength on the domestic sector and rely less on exports. And that is another factor, is that the Chinese economy is doing significantly better than what the global slowdown is showing in its exports and imports. Shifting the economy from an export-driven growth and a real estate and construction-driven growth to a internal demand, internal investment, technology and high added value sectors takes time. But it's interesting to see that that level of growth that is being achieved in an environment of global slowdown, which means lower exports for China, and in an environment of much lower GDP impact of real estate, is showing that the Chinese economy may be growing less than what consensus expected, but the Chinese economy is growing better and is doing better and is more solid and certainly more sustainable than it was in the years of the massive stimulus plans. Thank you for watching this video. Please subscribe to my channel, like my videos, leave your comments below, and keep defending freedom. Thank you very much.